Everybody, Willy McKenna here with Sheep Shades, and we are doing an artist profile with some of my fellow friends here from St. Louis as well. I'm sitting down with Greek Fire. So basically, you guys are on a pretty cool tour right now. I mean, for one, this is an awesome venue here at the Ready Room, but let's just go ahead and start out. Talk to me what it's like being on tour with Anne Berlin.
Anne Berlin's great, man. They've been good friends of ours for over a decade now. So anytime you're touring with friends, it makes it way more easier. It certainly makes the pros outweigh any cons you could ever think of with touring. I mean, before shows, we're always hanging out. After shows, we're always hanging out. During shows, we're usually hanging out. Plus, when you're supporting your friends and on tour with your friends that just happen to be one of the best bands of the past 10 years, that certainly makes it nice as well. We love those dudes, and we're just thankful to be a part of their final tour, which is a pretty special thing. They're playing 7 hours tonight, so good for them.
That's a heck of a set right there. So let's go ahead and just talk about, you guys kind of have an interesting beginning, and I have to say, being from St. Louis, I'm a little disappointed I didn't know how you guys got started. But everybody knows Story of the Year if you're from St. Louis, and that's kind of what you guys spun off from. So how did Greek Fire really come to be?
I'm just happy to be here.
That works.
So Mr. Moonbase there and we're in Story of the Year, right? Yeah. Yeah, we've done that for 4 albums, and that band, I'm eternally grateful for that band. It's taken me all around the world and given me, we wouldn't be here tonight with playing with Amberlin if it wasn't for Story of the Year. That being said, a couple years back, we kind of felt the need to kind of get outside that scene and that box and just kind of do something a little bit more expressive, a little bit more. Just we had this sound in our head that we knew we couldn't do with Story of the Year, so we had to find another outlet. Lots of people do it. All kinds of people have side projects and second and third bands and whatever. So this is ours. This is our outlet for creativity that doesn't really fit in the realm of Story of the Year. That's what this is.
You're going to be on the album for Big Hero 6, which is a new Disney movie coming out, I believe, just in a few days here. Go ahead and talk about how did that come to be?
We've been writing music for 5 or 6 years, and we've always sort of felt that our music lent itself to like a cinematic sort of vibe. We've even gone as far as Ryan editing some of our music to movies like The Fountain and some other things. So we had been working with some companies, one in particular in Chicago, with getting our music just sort of out there for commercials or different people to use if it worked. And a lot of sporting events like St. Louis Cardinals, St. Louis Blues, the Rams. March Madness started using a lot of our music, and it sort of got out there and got in the hands of a different company in LA that got it to Disney, and they contacted us about a different movie that came out last year that was massive. They ended up not going with our song, and but they said, but we still really like this Top of the World song, we want to use it for something. We have a movie coming up called Big Hero 6. This was like a year ago, so we had no idea what it was, and we asked them what it was, and they said, it's about a Japanese kid that builds a robot, and we said, that sounds awesome. Please use our song.
I want to go ahead and talk a little bit. I saw your logo today, and I saw it out on the drum set when I walked in. Talk a little bit about where that logo came from, because it's very simple, yet I'm sure that there's something kind of deep to the meaning of it. And if not, then this is a really bad question, but I'm expecting that there is.
In fact, that's a really good question, and I'm surprised we haven't heard it up to now, so thank you for asking that, although I'm not going to give you an answer that you may like. All the lyrics, all the sounds, all the titles, all the covers, everything is very, very thought out. We don't just do things to do things or look cool. It definitely has an extremely deep meaning for us, and it goes along not only with our current concept record, which is Lost and Found, but it goes along with sort of the juxtaposition of life and journeys and just everything that goes on. So I'm not going to say exactly where it's from, but it's a very, very obvious symbol. It's a very universal symbol. And we wanted to make something that was simple and represented everything that we write about in as easy of a motion, if you will, as possible. And Ryan threw it together, and we really loved it, and it means everything to our band. So we will probably use it for the rest of our existence. Right, guys?
Right.
And truthfully, I'm just happy to be here.
So also being from St. Louis, I'm in a band, I'm in St. Louis, I'm in the St. Louis music scene. Go ahead and talk to me about your experiences in the St. Louis music scene and what it was like to kind of break out of St. Louis and get onto a national stage right now.
St. Louis is rough because it's in the middle of the country, and a lot of times we're overlooked, whether it's concerts coming in or movies being based here, or even stories that are from St. Louis and they're made into a movie but they're based somewhere else. St. Louis is really hard to get on the map, and as a band breaking out of here, you almost, and I assume this is how it is in every city, but Story of the Year came out of St. Louis. We broke out of St. Louis. Greek Fire has been building St. Louis for a number of years, and if we break, we will break out of St. Louis and with the support of St. Louis. You have to know what you're doing, and you have to know what St. Louis is about. And honestly, I think you have to be proud of being from here and really connect with everybody that is from here so they can lift you up to make you a greater band and a bigger and wider spread band. And like he said before, like Ryan said before, Story of the Year is eternally thankful. Or we're eternally thankful for all that we've been able to do because of Story of the Year. And Story of the Year wouldn't have been able to do what we did if we didn't have the support of this city. And the radio stations that are involved here, and the television stations that are involved here, and the media that's involved here, and the fan base, and the venues, from every single bartender to every newspaper journalist. You really feel the love from St. Louis before you get any sort of grand success. And I know that sounds totally cliche and like a diplomatic answer, but it's very true. And if you try to just leave St. Louis and break from somewhere else or something, I've seen a lot of people try that, and it doesn't go the same way. And I don't know, man. For us, I'm sure there's 1,000 different ways to do it, but for us, we're just proud to be from here. It's always nice to play here, no matter what happens, no matter who comes. It's a good place to be able to say this is where we're from. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're just happy to be here. But you have to work hard, man. And St. Louis is no exception. I mean, just from any sort of music. What was that? From any sort of position in the music industry, you know, from every branch of it, this is a really, really tough time. So you have to work hard, and you have to be good, and you have to know what you're doing, and you just have to do it with some passion, man. There's so many bands that are like, oh, this sucks. It's because I'm St. Louis that I didn't. It's because I'm from St. Louis that I didn't break out, and if I lived in LA, blah blah blah. But that's not it, man. St. Louis can do it for you, and you just have to. You just got to work, and you have to love what you're doing, or you're not going to work at it for very long. You know what I'm saying? Right, guys? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? You just got to love it. You got to love it, and you got to be willing to get beat up for it.
I want to go ahead and let's just circle all that back around to finishing up with Greek Fire, and I want to give you guys a chance to talk to your fans and tell them, after this tour, after you're off the road with Anne Berlin, what is the plan? Where are you guys going to go from here, and where can we find you guys?
We are all about content. This is a multimedia band, and we are going to do all that we can to be on the edge of the new tomorrow, you know, because the old days of getting in a van and doing it for 5 years and you'll eventually make $1 million because you get a record deal, blah, 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 that just doesn't happen. And like you said, content is available and it's ready available so that honestly the point is to make it as good as possible. And the way we're going to make it as good as possible is doing kick-ass videos and extremely in-depth songs and all sorts of content for our fans to be a part of what we are. This whole dream, this whole concept, the things that we're exploring, the things that we're experiencing. A lot of people out there are experiencing the same thing. So we're going to try to give everybody as much as we can in a multimedia sort of way. And that's everything from live shows to videos to everything. We have vinyl and we have really cool videos. But yeah, we're gonna tour people's smartphones, so we'll be on your iPhone and your Android, and is there anything else? Your flip phone and your Blackberries for many years to come. But yeah, we also are playing for the St. Louisans and Chicagoans and Colombians. We are playing with. We're playing with ourselves. Thanks. We're playing with ourselves every day. We're playing with ourselves every day, but specifically December 3rd, 4th, and 5th, Story of the Year, Greek Fire, and the F Often Dies are playing Chicago, Columbia, and St. Louis. That's available everywhere. You can find out where those shows are.
So thank you once again to Greek Fire for joining us here on Artist Profile, presented by Sheepshades.